Hey fam, it is your girl. You know who I am, Miss Michelle Allen Franklin, honey. Mrs. Michelle DIY for Divine Intervention, honey. You know why? Because there are no coincidences in this world. Only God's divine intervention in our lives. And Mrs. Community Builder, why? Because you know your girl's gonna give you the good information, honey. The things you need for your mind, your body, your spirit, and your emotions. It is Monday. May the 6th. It is Nurses Week, y'all. We are kicking off Nurses Week. And it is still Mental Health Awareness Month every day this month from May the 1st to May the 31st. We are talking about your mental health. And yesterday, I shared on my self-reflection Sunday just some things, my thoughts. Go back and listen to the full um, 20 minutes. But I do want to share just a clip, and I wanted to come back around and share something else. So let's get into it. The devil's always busy, isn't he? This is why I need an assistant. Y'all bear with me. If your girl is taking applications, honey, if you are someone that is a virtual assistant, honey, your girl is taking applications. I do miss my Ivy. I miss her. I miss her so much. Let's try it again. So my cousin's birthday was Saturday as well, and she passed away a couple of months ago now, 2 months ago now. And it was really, really hard. I didn't even realize how it affected my spirit, but I had plans on Saturday, and I realized I didn't do much of them. And so I want to talk to somebody out there that might be struggling and going through something. And, sometimes it is to push through and go and go and go. But sometimes it is also to give your spirit some time, to give yourself that grace and allow you to feel whatever it is that you need to feel, and go ahead and acknowledge those feelings, give your body time to process, and move on from there. The problem is that sometimes we get stuck there. So it is to be intentional about giving yourself some grace, but then, okay, now, all right, let's shift, and we got to move, and we're going to have to get up, and we're going to have to do something. And so Mel Robbins, I talked about this one day last week, and I couldn't think of her name, but Mel Robbins has what she calls the rocket ship launch. And it is when you're struggling to get something, to start something. She shared her story on how she was in just the pit of life. Life was life. And she was laying in bed one day, and she looked over at the TV, and there was a rocket ship launch was going on. And she said that she was watching the countdown. And so she said, all of a sudden, something clicked in her. It was the countdown, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And she said, you know what? And then the rocket took off. And she said, I'm going to launch myself out of the bed. I'm going to launch myself into whatever it is that I need to do. I'm going to launch myself into doing the clothes. I'm going to launch myself into cleaning my room. I'm going to launch myself into taking a bath. I mean, just down to the simple things that sometimes when you're going through depression, it's just hard to even get up and wash your face, to get up and take a bath, to get up and put on some clothes, to get up and comb your hair, right? And so sometimes you have to just launch yourself in. Okay, you make a decision. I've given myself some grace, but now I'm ready to move on. And you got to launch yourself out. Nobody can come and pull you out of the situation, right? You have to launch yourself out of the situation. And so I want you to try it whenever, whatever it is that you have to do and you're feeling some kind of way about it. You don't focus on anything else but the countdown and the getting up and doing. As soon as you get to one, you go, you get up, and you do whatever it is that you've set your mind to do. And it has to be one thing at a time. You don't overwhelm yourself with a whole list of things when you're in this mindset, right? Because you're at a low vibration, so you don't have a lot of energy to, have a whole list of things to do. So you do the one thing at a time. I'm going to fold that basket of clothes that's been sitting, that I've ignored, and that I've said I'm going to fold for 2 weeks now, right? I'm going to fold that basket of clothes. I'm going to clean up my room that I've been saying that I'm going to clean up for however long now, right? I'm going to get up and do the dishes. I'm going to get up and I'm going to go to work today, right? I'm going to show up today. I'm going to get dressed today. Whatever it is that's on your list, right? Be it small, big, simple, however, whatever it is, doesn't matter. Focus on the countdown. Okay, I'm going to fold the clothes in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Launch. Up. Do it. No more thought. No more nothing else. That's it. You will be so surprised in just how simple that seems, but how it works, y'all. It really does work. I've tried it. I've done it and given it to people in my program to try and do, and it is amazing. Mel Robbins, of course, you can look her up on YouTube. And just put in Rocket Launch. That was like the beginning of her career. She's a millionaire now, books and best-selling author and all of the things now. But that was her beginning. And it was so powerful. I guess it was about 2019 when I found that video. And so, but it does work. So this was my rocket launch. I said all day, I'm going to post today. I want to post today. And going and being and doing all the stuff and doing all the stuff. And then I fell asleep. But I want to start my week off right. Self-Reflection Sunday is something that I want to do, been wanting to do, have been doing. Okay, family, that was again an excerpt from yesterday's Self-Reflection Sunday. And I wanted to just find that for you. It is Motivation Monday. And somebody out there, I was just thinking, may not be motivated to get out of the bed, may not be motivated to find the video. So I said, you know what? Let me find the clip. This is for educational purpose only. There's no copyright infringement intended. But in lieu of Mental Health Awareness Month, we are doing all that we can to help somebody, anybody out there who is struggling, because your girl at one period of point in time in her life was struggling to the 10th power, all the way down to, I don't want to get out the bed to even wash my face. I don't want to get out of the bed. I was hitting the snooze button. And so if you are in that place, honey, or you're just in a better place, but you still just can't find the energy or the strength or figure out why you can't get things done, This is a great explanation and a nice intervention that you can do. Let's go.
Understand the power of a 5-second decision, and you understand that you always have a choice to go from autopilot to decision maker, everything in your life will change. You will be a different negotiator. You will be different in sales. You will be unstoppable in the gym, because you will realize the amount of garbage that you put in the way of your hopes, of your dreams, of your potential, of your confidence, of your courage. Everything comes down to the decisions that you make. We all know what to do. None of us know how to make ourselves do it. I wanted to change my life. And I think most people that are miserable or that are really like dying to be great and dying to have more, we want to change. We want to live a better life. We want to create more for our families. We want to be happier. The desire is there. Again, it's about how you go from knowledge to action. So the first thing in this story that's important is realizing that the answer was in me. And my mind was telling me, pay attention. The next morning, the alarm goes off, and I pretended NASA was there. It's the stupidest story. I literally went 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I counted out loud, and then I stood up. And I'll never forget standing there in my bedroom. It was dark. It was cold. It was winter in Boston. And for the first time in 3 months, I had beaten my habit of hitting the snooze button. I couldn't believe it. And I thought, wait a minute. Counting backwards, that is the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my entire life. Well, the next morning I used it again and it worked. The next morning I used it again and it worked. The next morning I used it again and it worked. And then I started to notice something really interesting. There were moments all day long, just like that 5-second moment in bed, where I knew knowledge what I should do. And if I didn't move within 5 seconds, my brain would step in and talk me out of it. Every human being has a 5-second window, might even be shorter for you. You have about a 5-second window in which you can move from idea to action before your brain kicks into full gear and sabotages any change in behavior. Because remember, your brain is wired to stop you from doing things that are uncomfortable or uncertain or scary. It's your job to learn how to move from those ideas that could change everything into acting on it in the smallest moment. The thing that's so cool about this, and I should tell you the science behind it, because I'm going to be honest with you, it is stupid. Had I ever thought that I would find myself 8 years after discovering it, spending my days telling people about the 5-second rule? First of all, I would have picked a different name, because it reminds you of the one where you have to like pick up food within 5 seconds off the floor, right? It was my secret weapon. This was something I did. I never intended to tell anybody, because I went from getting up on time and waking up on time to shaking up my entire life. So I started researching it. Why does something so stupid work? Why does something so silly create such powerful and profound change? Well, here's why. The rule is a form of metacognition. Metacognition is a fancy pants term that means something real simple. You can outsmart your own brain in furtherance of goals. Agreed. There are tricks that you can use that actually outsmart the tricks your brain plays on you in furtherance of a higher purpose. We all know this. You can restrain yourself if you're in a situation that calls for it. You can jump into a raging river to save your dog or your kid. You can direct yourself in ways if it's important to you. And so the rule, what it does is it does something really remarkable. When you count backwards, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, what you're actually doing is you're interrupting what researchers call habit loops that get encoded as closed loop patterns in your basal ganglia. That's the part of the brain where your feelings, where your emotions, every habit that you have, which is nothing more than behavior that you repeat that you don't even think about. When you go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, it interrupts what's going on here that's spinning without you thinking, and it moves and awakens your prefrontal cortex. So when you hit 1, your habit has been interrupted. So you've interrupted self-doubt. You've interrupted maybe snapping at your kids. You've interrupted the desire to grab for a drink. You've interrupted procrastination. You've also, by counting backwards, done an action. It's awakened your prefrontal cortex. That's the part of the brain that you need that's awake when you're changing behavior, when you're learning new things. When you hit 1, it's also a prompt. So in the language of research, you'll hear people talk about starting rituals. That is something that's proven to help you learn a new habit. The 5-second rule, when you repeat it, becomes a starting ritual that triggers you to act with confidence, that triggers you that this is a moment of courage, that triggers you to shift gears. And because you've also done the manual work of awakening the part of the brain that you need to change, you've set yourself up for success. It doesn't work if you count up, because you can keep going. And also, counting up doesn't require focus. If you count backwards, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, it, again, awakens the prefrontal cortex and it prompts you to move. When you start to use it and then you read about it, you'll see that it's being used all over the place. They use it in the armed services in order to align troops and get them to start an exercise. They use it in elementary schools, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, at big assemblies to get a huge room full of kids to stop talking.
Simple and interesting example, yeah.
Because it requires you to focus. It's not a habit. It will become a habit that prompts you to have confidence and courage. But in the beginning, it interrupts patterns of behavior that you do on autopilot. It helps you assert control. And it teaches you how to become the kind of person that moves from thinking about something to actually doing it.
Family, how powerful is that? Now, this is not for everybody. If you're not in this space, I pray that you never get into this space. But I always say, if you're not in this space and God has sent you this way, you either know somebody that needs this, or you're going to need it a little bit later if you don't need it right now. Because God is not a just because God. And there are 8 billion people in this world. And my video is not going to come across everyone's desk, but it came across yours. And so if it's not for you, then share it with someone that you know can use it. Because again, God is not a just because God. It is Motivation Monday, honey. We will be back. I'll be back a little bit later on today. Please turn your notifications on. Every time your girl sets a time, something is happening. Until I get an assistant, we're just going to do it like that. Put your notifications on because your girl will be back live later on today. We are celebrating Nurses Week, and we're talking anxiety. And let me just show you this.
God only knows what they say about you. God only knows what you've been through. God only knows what they say
I had
about
a really
you.
bad panic attack the night before. You would have never known. How many people are out there pretending they're okay? I was not okay. But you would have never known. That, my good friends, is the purpose. This right here is the purpose. This is the purpose. Look at that
God
smile.
only knows what you've been through.
One of
God
my
only
favorites.
knows what they say about you.
But I was suffering. I was suffering in silence, and so many people are suffering in silence. This is Mental Health Awareness Month. And so each and every day, if there's not a live video, there will be a recorded video, there will be a message, there will be something. So stay with me, follow your girl. If you know somebody that is also suffering from depression, panic attacks, anxiety, or PTSD, those are the 4 things that I will be covering this month, and how it affects very subconsciously your mind, your body, your spirit, your emotions. I go very deep. Your girl has a YouTube channel. It is Reflections, Choosing Me Guilt Free. Go over there and follow your girl. I promise you that there's something over there to help you. I've been doing this for some years now. I was trying to go back and think, and I said in the video 2019, but it was 2017 to 2018. So I've been very passionate about this for a long time now, again, because I suffered in silence. And so follow your girl, turn your notifications on, and we'll see you later on today. It is your girl, Michelle Franklin, Miss Michelle Allen Franklin, Mrs. D.I., because there are no coincidences, baby, in this world. Only God's divine intervention in our lives. And Mrs. Community Builder, why? Because you know your girl is always going to give you the good information, the things that you need for your mind, your body, your spirit, and your emotions. I appreciate each and every one of you taking the time to watch and to follow your girl. I'll see you later.